Hello. Welcome to Marketing Strategy This Week. My name is Sean Q, and I am your marketing strategist. I'm going to do a couple of things, though. I'm going to make sure that I'm actually live streaming. And so let me go ahead and check this out. All right. And let me just make sure we're live streaming on all platforms. We are using a platform called Ecamm Live, which is pretty amazing. Thank you so much, Ecamm, for making this live stream available and sponsoring this training. My name is Sean Q. Again, I'm one of the executive marketing strategists at Next Step Social and Podcasting, and I'm really excited to be in this training with you. Now, I am just confirming that we are streaming on. Okay, I think we're in the Facebook group now, and I believe we're on YouTube. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Marketing Strategy This Week. My name is Sean Q. I'm one of the executive marketing strategists here at Next Step Social and Podcasting. And I go live every single Wednesday to answer your questions and to provide a little bit of insight on how you can show up, get visible, and become that thought leader in your local area. If you're a local professional, we help you become a thought leader, a disruptor, and an influencer. And what that means is we want you to be the go-to expert when it comes to what you do and how you help people. We want you to disrupt your industry and really dominate the marketplace so that you're number one when people search or go on social for you. And we want you to become an influencer, somebody that wields influence within your space. So you're able to show up online and get results that you're looking for, whether that's generating leads, building brand awareness, or even converting that awareness and those leads into paying customers and clients. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to guarantee that your marketing campaigns absolutely fail. And I know that sounds kind of wild, but I cannot tell you how many times we land a client, we work with a local professional, and we take a look and assess everything that they're doing within their business. And it's very abundantly clear the gaps that are in place that are causing them to miss out on leads and leave money on the table. So what I want to do in this video is show you how to fill those gaps and how to kind of guarantee you're going to fail by not doing these things. If you are ready, go ahead and let me know in the chat below. Let me know you're live with me. If you're hashtag team live with me, go ahead and put hashtag team live. If you're on the replay, thank you so much for spending time with us and watching this video. So, how to guarantee your marketing campaign fails in 7 easy steps. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek breakdown of the exact mistakes that kill your results and what to do instead if you actually want leads, sales, and momentum. From skipping your ideal client to random content chaos and having weak offers, I'm going to show you why campaigns collapse and how to fix them using a simple strategic structure you can apply today. If you're ready to stop guessing and start converting, lean in, grab your pen and your notepad, and get ready to take some notes. So, number one, how to guarantee your marketing campaigns fail and what to do instead if you actually want it to work. Listen, if you're a local professional, oftentimes you hire an agency, you hire a marketer, you bring somebody in house, and you just say, market, promote me. And you want leads to come in. And so you have this expectation that this marketing agency or campaign is going to work. One of the biggest mistakes you can make, and one of the things you can do to guarantee your marketing campaign fails, is to target everyone. Listen, if you chase two rabbits, you catch none. If you skip the ideal customer stuff, the ability to really craft who is the perfect person that we actually want to speak to, and you kind of just broadly promote and kind of shotgun it, if you will, and hope the algorithm delivers your content to someone who cares, you're going to be sorely mistaken and you're going to be throwing money away. I can't tell you how many times I look at a social post and I can't identify who is this actually speaking to? I want you to actually do this. I go to the last 5 pieces of content that you've published. Maybe you have a podcast, maybe you're on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, identify what are the last 5 pieces of content you've published and ask yourself, Who is this speaking to? And is it very clear within the first three sentences that we're speaking to a specific person? When our team actually puts together marketing campaigns, we have our client's ideal client avatar really well thought out. And sometimes it's more than one. Sometimes we're trying to attract multiple types of people because there's multiple services. For example, we work with attorneys and real estate agents, and they work with a variety of people. And so, whenever we're crafting a piece of content, we want to write to one specific person per post. We don't want to speak to everybody, we want to speak to one person. Oftentimes when we're crafting this kind of ideal client avatar, this profile of a person, we're identifying a real person. So we ask our clients, name a real person that you absolutely loved working with when it came to this service. And then we ask them a ton of questions. We ask them questions around three different areas. And this is something for you to consider. Identify the demographics. Tell us about them, right? These are things about them. What's their age, their gender identity? What is their, wealth level? What is their education level? Do they have kids? Are they married? What is their local region, right? These are things about the client. Now, these things are really important, and if I were to say, hey, I know uh, your age, I know your gender identity, I know where you live, would you think I knew you? Probably not. You'd probably say, well, you know a couple of things about me, but you don't really know me. Demographics is just one layer of identifying who the perfect person is and writing to them. The second layer is something called psychographics. Now, psychographics are things like values, beliefs. They are things like, patterns of behavior. They're things on like values and why they do the things that they do. This reaches down into the deeper parts of their soul. For example, if I knew more than just your age, your gender identity, and your local region, but I knew what kept you up at night. I knew what you believed when it came to business. What you believe when it comes to sales. If I knew exactly what you believed when it comes to relationships and love and what you were afraid of happening and what you actively work towards, would you say I know you? You'd probably say, yeah, the only people who really know that are maybe my partner and my best friends. Well, as a business owner, you need to have that level of detail and that level of understanding when it comes to your ideal client. And so that's where it comes to psychographics. What do they believe when it comes to these different areas of life? Uh, and then there's a third layer. And this is where we have bottom line impact when identifying the ideal client avatar, because this is all about buying behaviors. It's the psychology of buying. When do they pull their wallet out and what motivates them to take their card out? What is the driving factors that motivate them to give you money in exchange for a service? I'll give you an example. I tend to make purchasing decisions really quickly. That's my personal preference. I want to make a decision right now, yes or no, and then live with that decision and I can move on. My wife, on the other hand, she likes to take her time. She likes to research every single option available, really identify, okay, is this the right fit for me? She kind of goes through a slower process. For me, what I need when it comes to marketing campaigns is I need real fast. Who are you? Can you help me? And what does it look like after this problem's solved? For my wife, she's going to need a little bit of follow up, a little bit of nurturing, and the campaigns need to align with her process. We know people approach life very differently, no matter what personality assessment you take, right? Whether that's Myers Briggs, Enneagram, whether you take Strengths Finders, Wealth Dynamics, or you take one of those like Disney princess ones, no matter what assessment you take, you're going to realize, oh, there are different people out there that do things and think different ways and do things differently, including purchase behaviors. So the first thing that you can do is try to speak to everybody, which means you're not going to speak to anybody. Here's what to do instead. Take a moment and identify a real person that your company is working with right now. Identify their demographics, things about them. Identify their psychographics, things that are on a kind of a deeper psychological level, things they believe when it comes to your services. What do they, if you're, for example, if you're an attorney, what do they believe about lawyers and attorneys? What do they believe about the law? What do they believe about justice? What do they believe about having somebody advocate for them? Those things are really important. And then what are their purchasing behaviors? How do they purchase something? If you can really collaborate and culminate these three things, you're going to have a really clear idea of who to speak to. So the next time somebody writes content for you, or the next time you create a piece of content, you can say, okay, how can I speak directly to this person and how can I assess it? Go back to the post after it's been written, or how do I approve this content from an agency to make sure it speaks to my person? So, if you want to guarantee a fail, speak to everybody instead of trying to speak to one person. If you really want to succeed, make sure you absolutely know who it is that you're speaking to. All right, let me know. Was that helpful? Let me know in the chat. Do you already have this? Let me know as well. Do you already know who your ideal client avatar is to that deepest third level? You got to define that ideal client profile, demographics, psychographics, pain points, desires, and buying triggers. So, number two, how to guarantee your marketing campaign absolutely fails. Number two, offer something generic and forgettable. Here's the truth: people don't buy legal services, they don't buy real estate services, they don't buy medical services. What they buy are results. And I like to use the plane analogy here. Most people, like 90% of people, don't purchase plane tickets just to spend time at the airport. Now, it's been wild. I've actually heard some people love spending time at the airport. So they buy tickets because the airport, they love being at the airport. And so they'll fly instead of driving. But for most people, you don't buy a plane ticket just to spend time at the airport or just to spend time in the aircraft. Those are the vehicles that get you where you actually want to go. So if you're going on vacation, you're not going on the plane, you're going to Hawaii, you're going to Mexico, you're going to Canada, you're going to Florida or California. The destination is what you're selling, the result. So if you're an attorney, as an example, a local attorney, you're not selling your legal services. You're selling what those legal services help people do. Have peace of mind knowing that when they pass, they have their entire estate planned out. You're allowing them to get out of horrible relationships, and the way you're doing that is by being a great divorce attorney and advocate for them. You're ensuring that they have the opportunity to still build a relationship with their kids, and those are the results that you want to focus on when it comes to marketing, not the way that you get there. Now, of course, people are going to understand the process, but the process is never the hook. I'm going to say that again because that's so good. If you're taking notes, write that down. The process is never the hook. The results, the location that you're taking them to, the different states of living, that's the result. So they buy results, not processes. If you're a real estate agent and you're just saying, hey, I can help you buy your next house, awesome. But you're just like every other real estate agent that is promoting themselves online. There's no way that you differentiate yourself. Instead, what I want you to do is craft a strong, differentiated message that clearly solves a specific problem and delivers transformation. You want to sell the promise, not the process. You want to sell the promise, not the process. Write that down if you're taking notes. The process is not what people care about. The promise is what people care about. So when you're creating content, something that one of the formulas that we like to follow is something called problem, promise, process. Problem, promise, process. It's kind of a tongue twister. The first thing you want to do is identify the pain points that they're experiencing. What is it that they want to solve? What is the reason that they are making a decision to hire an attorney, hire a real estate agent, hire a medical supplier, etc. Start with that and speak to it very clearly. Then talk about what's possible. Here's where I want to take you. And then finally, talk about your process. I can help you do X. So here's a little bit of a formula breakdown of this 3P process. Are you, you know, are you a newly divorced dad who is struggling to build a relationship with your kids? Maybe you help people with therapy. You're a local therapist. Are you a newly divorced dad in your 40s struggling to build a relationship with your kids? What if you were able to spend time with them that felt really fulfilling and meaningful, so much so that they begged to see you again? That's what I help you do through the, with the therapy that we support. That's our goal, is to help you build that strong relationship. That's a basic example of the problem, promise, and then process framework. You don't want to sell a commodity, you don't want to sell a process, because there's no emotional relevance. There's no outcome or hook. You want to sell the message and the offer. So that's number 2. Number 1, ideal client avatar. Number 2, making sure that you have a really meaningful, differentiated, emotionally relevant message. Step 3 to making sure that your marketing campaign absolutely fails is assume people are ready to buy immediately. Listen, I told you early on, I'm probably one of 7% of people who make purchasing decisions really fast. Most buyers are not ready to buy after one post of yours or one ad. They need to build trust through small, low risk interactions first. So, one of the things we do with our clients is we help them identify what are all of the micro commitments that somebody needs to take in order to go from complete stranger to loyal customer. Somebody who's sending you referrals, somebody who's a brand ambassador, who's speaking positively every time that your name comes up, that they are trying to bring your name up as often as possible whenever a problem occurs. How do we get them from complete stranger to that loyal buyer? Well, it's not just one big jump. In other words, when you meet someone, you're not asking to marry them the first time you meet them. But oftentimes, that's what social media content looks like. Hey, I can help you do this, buy my thing. What if instead you slowed that journey down and you mapped out, okay, somebody who meets me for the first time, what's the first impression I want them to have of me? And then the second time, what is the information I want to deliver that time? And then the third interaction they have with me, how do we want to craft a message that actually makes them start considering whether or not I'm the right fit for them? Most of the time, the first impression you want to make has nothing to do with your business. Has everything to do with what you advocate for, what you stand for, what you believe in, and what you don't advocate for, what you stand against, what you are fighting against. So in that first impression post, oftentimes this is a pin post or this is the first ad they see of yours. Oftentimes this is the first email they get from you. We want to make sure that that first impression speaks to more than just your business. Now, of course, we want to sprinkle that in, but we want people to say, oh, I like them. I think I can see myself working with them. You don't care what people's titles are, right? Have you ever been to a networking meeting where people just introduce themselves as CEO of blah, 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 blah? Most of the time, you don't really care about those titles. What you're really looking for is, does this person sound or look like or feel like the type of person that I can interact with and do business with? When you're looking for true business partners, true service providers, you're really looking at that human level. So, first things first is you want to guarantee your marketing campaign is going to fail. Just promote your stuff and ask for them to commit to you. If you want to begin to see a little bit more success with your marketing campaigns, what I recommend is making some more micro commitments processes. Place those in, and you can be a little bit strategic with it. So oftentimes we'll have a post that calls people to engage as the first thing. And then after that engagement, we ask them to opt into an email newsletter or let's subscribe to a podcast. And now they're listening over and over, or they're receiving your emails over and over. And now we can actually build that strong relationship with someone. So assume people are ready to buy immediately is going to guarantee you marketing fails. Instead, what we recommend is build out a micro commitment journey. Number 4, make sure nobody believes you. That's one way to completely guarantee you fail. If your audience doesn't believe they have a problem, that your method works, and that you can help them, they're not going to buy from you, no matter how good your offer is. People have to be in a state of belief that they have a problem, your method can solve, and that you're the person to implement or service. Once they have that, then they're ready to buy. So essentially what you want to do is you want to use belief shifting messaging to guide people toward new awareness and confidence in your solution. What does that mean? What that means is people typically need a story in order to believe something new. Now we're getting really deep into psychology, but beliefs are oftentimes simply different stories someone believes about something. And so by telling them a different story, you give them a new perspective. Have you ever watched a movie and after the movie you've felt kind of changed, shifted inside? You felt like, oh, I think there's a different perspective I have now. Why? Because stories shift beliefs. That's why one of the biggest and strongest tools within a religion are parables. That's why there's so many incredible parables, rich, meaningful stories that share a truth about something. So I want you to ask yourself, take a look at your social media, take a look at your podcast, take a look at your email newsletters, and ask yourself, how many stories am I telling? How many stories am I showing? Whether that's stories of your clients, whether that's your own parables that whether that's, fictional stories that have a deeper meaning, whether that's analogies or metaphors, before and after case studies, whether that's your own personal story of triumph and challenge. What you want to do is make sure that you're telling more stories. One of the things we tell our clients all the time is stories do the sales for you. Stories sell, and they're the best salesmen. So tell more stories. If you don't yet have a collection, here's something I recommend you do, is start jotting the names of people that have gotten incredible results from you, and then start crafting their stories. What was life like before they worked with you? What was the experience like while they were working with you? And now what is life like after working with you? If you can craft the before, during, and after story and tell this to someone, they will start to see themselves in that story and say, oh, that could be me. So use belief shifting messaging through the power of stories to get people to believe they have a problem that your method can solve and that you're the person to deliver it. Number 5 of these 7 things that can guarantee your marketing flops. Number 5 is use the same content everywhere. I know it's easy. I know it's so simple to simply click that button that says, do you want to post to this platform too? And that is okay. I mean, having content everywhere, I guess, solves the problem of being everywhere. But what's going to happen if your content isn't what we call native to the platform? Essentially, if your content isn't designed for that platform, the big, evil, mean algorithm is going to see that and say, hey, you're not playing on our platform. We're going to reduce the amount of people who actually see your content because we want honest players on this platform. So if you're kind of trying to be everywhere and you're just repurposing content and posting everything, the truth is what works on Facebook isn't what's going to work on Instagram. And what works on Instagram isn't what's going to be working on LinkedIn. And what's working on LinkedIn isn't what's going to be working on Substack. All of these require different ways to craft a message because they have different features. And there are different things that the algorithm favors. LinkedIn really favors, at the time of this recording, really favors newsletters and articles. Facebook really loves comment threaded posts, long form text posts. Instagram really favors reels and short form video. Substack really loves strong hooks that are really well thought out and have a lot of source material. And so each platform has its own different needs. That's what we do with our clients is we identify, okay, most of the time people don't have the budget to be everywhere. So where can we be that's going to be the most impactful and then really own that platform? For some of our clients, it's LinkedIn. So we go all in on LinkedIn and make LinkedIn their number one source of lead generation. For others, it's Instagram or Facebook or Substack or TikTok or YouTube. And so we go all in on dominating that one platform. And here's the truth: people will go to your platform of choice to find content from you if it's good enough. For example, I have people that I subscribe to on YouTube, and that is the exclusive platform you can find their content. So I go to YouTube to find their content. There are people I subscribe to on Substack. I go to that platform to consume their content. And I share this because a lot of times professionals are afraid if I don't show up everywhere, then I'm going to lose and miss out on people who find me. But the truth is, if your content's good and it's strategic enough, people will go to the platform you choose and find you. And the truth is, there are literally billions of users on just one of these platforms. I guarantee you're not going to miss out if you really own one platform and get just 0.3% of those billion users to see you. So go all in on one platform instead of just using content everywhere. Step 6, to ensuring that your marketing completely flops and fails. Number 6 is don't be consistent. Post once or twice here and there, right? It's actually kind of really funny because we have clients come to us and they'll say, "Hey, we'd love for you to manage our Facebook," and then we go to their Facebook, start doing our auditing process and assessment process, and we see, "Oh, you haven't posted since 2 years ago. No wonder you're not getting leads here." Now, oftentimes this is simply because of bandwidth. If you're a local professional, you have cases that you're doing as an attorney or clients that you have to work with as an agent. You're not focused on being a marketer as well. And I think that's one of the biggest lies that people believe when it comes to building a business, that you can wear all the hats. You absolutely can wear all the hats, but you can't wear them well. And it probably won't look good if you're wearing literally 17 hats. So what we recommend is find someone. Obviously, we have a marketing agency. You can always bring somebody in internal and in-house as well. But you can do this as well, is make sure that this is a priority for your business, is being consistent and showing up. For example, we post content and then we analyze that content for what's doing really well. And we post a ton of content for our clients. And so what we want to do is we want to feed the algorithm with as much data as possible and as much content as possible so we can collect as much data on what's working and what's not. And then what we do is we create sequels and we do the next post based off of the content that's working really well. And so what's really key is that consistency gives you the data that allows you to see what's working, and then what's working you can double down on. If it worked once, it'll work again. And this is kind of an old Hollywood belief. If you make a really good movie, you can almost guarantee that they're going to make a sequel. Now, whether or not the sequel's any good, that's a whole other story. But if it worked once, it can work again. Part one, part two, part three, part four of the same topic is some of our juiciest pieces of content. And so making sure that we have that consistency and we're creating content and we're publishing it on a consistent basis is not only going to give you data on what's actually working in the market, but it's also going to build trust. Your clients are going to be, and your market's going to see that you're showing up everywhere. One of our favorite compliments from our clients is the compliments they get and that they share with us, which is I'm thinking of a specific real estate agent who told us recently, Sean, I have heard about 7 times I show up every time they log on Facebook. And it's like, yeah, that's awesome. That's what we want. We want to be on top of every single person's feed that's connected with you. So that's amazing, but that only happens because we're consistently creating content. So ask yourself, how often, how frequently, and how consistently are you creating content for your business? I'll take another Hollywood analogy. Um, Hollywood, when they make a movie, let's say it costs $90 million, oftentimes they'll save half the amount that's half of that to produce the content just for marketing. 50%. So if it costs $90 million to produce a movie, they're reserving another $45 million to market the movie. If you are a fan of any of the marketing gurus out there, you'll know that oftentimes they'll tell you, if you're not marketing your business for the first 4 hours of your day, or having someone else do it, or having an agency that's committing that amount of time to market your business, you're not going to grow as fast as you'd like. So making sure that you have someone dedicated to promoting your business and letting the world know you exist as a solution is key, and making sure that you're consistent with it. And the final thing, number 7, is to post and pray. The magic isn't in the post. When you post on social media, that's not marketing. That's publishing content, which is a part of marketing. But marketing isn't just a single event, it's a campaign. And I'm going to bring in Hollywood again. When you see a movie, oftentimes they'll produce a movie, but they'll produce a couple of trailers before the movie comes out. You see the first initial 15-second teaser trailer, then they build on that with a full-length trailer number 1, then they release another one, trailer number 2, then the actors go on a press junket and they go talk to all of the press and media. Then they do the big showing and have the red carpet out, and so only an exclusive amount of people see it. Then they make a big announcement on how long people clapped after watching the movie for the first time. This had a 17-minute ovation, and it's not just they're posting once on Facebook and then expecting a bunch of people to watch it. They're building a campaign. And that's what you want to do, is think less of marketing as an event or a one-time thing, and think of it as a campaign. One of the things that we use the word campaign for a lot is for political campaigns. Oftentimes people who want to get into elected office will make an announcement. They'll have a big announcement and announce, I am running for governor or president or senate or congresswoman or congressperson. They'll make a big announcement, but then that's just the start of the campaign. Now they go meet people, they go talk to people, they go do a whole thing, typically for 18 months, at least in the US. It's an 18-month campaign to get the thing that they want. So you have to recognize that marketing is a campaign. It is not a one-time event. Posting once on Facebook isn't going to do the job. Posting every now and then isn't going to do the job, and that's a guaranteed failure and flop of a marketing campaign. Instead, you want to begin to craft, okay, what are we going to do in this first week? How are we going to build on that in the second week? What are we going to do in the third week? How are we going to build on that in the fourth week? Where are we leading people? Do we have the structure built around it for it to succeed? Do we have a way to identify if this lead came from social media? Or do we have a way to identify this lead came from Google My Business, SEO services? What are the ways that we're going to drive a campaign and not just post? Biggest mistake you can do when you're making a hiring decision when it comes to a marketing director or a marketing agency is just expecting them to post for you. You want marketing strategists who are going to come in and really lay out a plan of action that's going to drive leads long term for you. So that is the 7 things you want to do in order to make sure that your marketing fails. Number 1, speak to everybody instead of speaking to someone specific. Number 2, offering something very generic and forgettable in your messaging. Number 3, assuming people are ready to buy immediately. Number four, making sure nobody actually believes in you, not telling enough stories. Number five, using the same content everywhere, just kind of posting and praying. Number six, saying something different on every platform. And then number seven, number six, just making sure that you're just posting content ill consistently. And number seven, thinking one post is marketing instead of creating a campaign around it. Now, if you have already identified, oh my gosh, we're making these mistakes, our campaigns are failing, one of the ways that we like to help our clients is through a strategic intensive. These are VIP days that we use to really go in, assess, and it's kind of like a business marketing triage. We go in, we assess what's working, what's not working, what are you doing that you're wasting your time on, what are you doing that you could stop doing, what are you doing that you need to double down on. We identify your ideal client avatar in detail. We go through what are those micro commitments and those beliefs and stories that we need to tell, and how do we move someone from complete stranger to loyal fan and buyer. And we go through the entire process of fixing every single one of these mistakes. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and click on the link in the description below or reach out to me or my team. I am at HeySeanQ on social, or you can go to our website, www.yournextstep.agency. My name is Sean Q. I hope this was really helpful. If you are interested in that VIP intensive, that strategic intensive, let us know. But here's going to be my big takeaway for you today. Number one, identify who it is you're speaking to in your very next post. Ask yourself, is this going to speak to one real person? And here's a little bonus tip. We also ask ourselves, would that one real person share this? That means you have virality, mini virality within the post. So identify a real person, write for that person, but write in such a way that they would share your content. That's going to get a ton of engagement. Uh, Assess, take a look at your last 5 pieces of content. Ask yourself, am I speaking to a real person? And if not, that's a recommendation to begin to pivot. Again, my name is Sean Q. I'm here to support you in all of your marketing needs, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.